ಏನು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಬರದೆ. ಸುಪ್ರಭಾತ ಬರ್ತಿದಾರಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ MS ಸುಪ್ರಭಾತ.
Namaste.
I got your email, sir.
Oh God.
ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಗುರುಜಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಲೈವ್ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ಗೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲೇನೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ.
ಸಾಧಾರಣ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಆದಿಜ ವ್ಯಾಧಿ ಸಾರ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ PPTs ಕಲರ್ಫುಲ್ PPTs ಅದು ಯಾರಿಂದ ತಗೋಬೇಕು? PPTs ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಇಂದ ತಗೋಬೇಕು?
ಯಾರು? ಗೌರಿ ಹತ್ರ ಫುಲ್ ಇದೆ.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಗುರುಜಿ? ಸರಿ.
ಗೌರಿ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, BNVS ಶ್ರೀ ಗೌರಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೌರಿ.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೌರಿನಾ? ಓಕೆ. BNVS
ಶ್ರೀ ಗೌರಿ BNVS
ಸರಿ.
ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ?
ಓಕೆ
ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ BNVS.
ಸರಿ.
ಅವಳೇ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು.
ಓ ಹೌದಾ ಗುರುಜಿ? ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹರ್. ಸರಿ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಎನಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ದು.
ಯಾರು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ? ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವರು.
ಏನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಗುರುಜಿ?
ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
ವಯಸ್ಸು ಏನು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಲ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬರ್ತಿಲ್ವ ಈಗ?
नमस्कार गुरुजी।
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters. We, as usual, start with a prayer for Taittiriya Upanishad, Ananda Mimamsa, which all of you are familiar. You can all chant together. Om Sahana Bhavato Sahanau Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamasto Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now,
Online students.
what?
Yes. Online.
They will all come now also. Now, measuring happiness is the topic today. That has been brought out in the Taittiriya Upanishad as Ananda Mimamsa. Question comes, why to measure? And how do we measure? We know in modern science, the greatest contribution of modern science and technology is the aspect of measurement. We must know not only the qualitative aspect, but also the quantitative aspect. And for that, you need to measure. You may have fever, but fever can be very intense or it can be very mild. So we measure what is the temperature. You may be diabetic, sugar may be high, but how much high it is, how much low it is, makes a big difference. Similarly, we have different aspects like anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation, everything. Is it possible that we can measure them also? And our ancient scriptures talk about that. And happiness is a very important factor in all of us, and we have to see how we can measure. So, in measuring anything, what do? We have to first define a unit of measurement. You say, this table is 3 feet. For that, we must know what is 1 foot. So, define 1 foot. Particular distance is taken to be as 1 foot. And it could have been this much or it could have been this much in the beginning. But all of us agreed in science, this particular distance is to be called as 1 foot. And that became the unit. That is the definition of a unit. Similarly, a pendulum going here and there is 1 second. So anything that you want to measure, first of all, you have to define a unit. Then you multiply them to have the bigger units. You have got 1 foot, then a furlong, the mile, or you define a centimeter, a kilometer, and so on and so forth. That's the bigger units. Then go on dividing them, smaller units, centimeter, then millimeter, and nanometers, and go smaller and smaller. This is how we quantify and we measure anything that we want. Therefore, we see a similar attempt in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So, how do we define 1 unit of happiness or ananda? So, this is the first definition given. Yuva syat sadhu yuvadhyayakaha ashishto dradishto balishtaha tasya ayam prathavi sarva vittasya purna syat sayeko manushanandaha. What is 1 unit of ananda? That is defined in this way. Imagine a young person, yuva, full of energy. Yuvadhyayakaha is a worshipper of the youthful energies. Yuvadhyayakaha. He likes to be young. Even if it is 60, 70, 80, 100 years, he wants to be full of youthful spirits. He is a young person. And Ashishtaha is very ambitious, full of desire to enjoy the life. With all types of sense pleasures, everything he wants to do, full of desires. Then Dradishtaha is very steady, he is not fickle-minded. That once he takes up, he wants to enjoy to the maximum. We had one of the persons, young, fat person from Maharashtra. His capacity, he likes gulab jamun. He would enjoy to the maximum. 40 gulab jamuns he can eat. That was Radhishta. He had the steadiness and he had the bala. He had the capacity to digest that. Many people may have the desire, they may have the steadiness, but a weakling. They cannot digest. They cannot take up that thing. He may have all these things. He is very young, worshipper of youthful spirits. He has the desire and ambition, and he is full of steadfastness and full of strength and vitality. But if he doesn't have the means for doing that, how can he do? Therefore, it said, Iyam Prithvi Sarvavittasya Purnasya. He is the richest of the person of the whole world. And it has all the richness of the earth. So he has got access to all sense pleasures, everything. Imagine how much happiness he can get, how much of ananda he can get. That is called as 1 unit of Ananda. And that is defined as 1 unit of Manusha Ananda. So that is the first definition. The unit has been defined now. Then multiplication of that. Te shatam manusha anandaha. 100 times that manusha ananda. Defining a unit of ananda. Think of a youth, good, well-versed in scriptures, well-disciplined, resolute, very strong, and he prolongs all his wealth full of wealth. This is one human bliss. Then te shatam manusyanam anandaha sayeko manushya gandharvanam anandaha shrotriyasya chakamahatasya. So that 100 times this ananda is 1 unit of manushya gandharvananda. So who are these Gandharvas and what is their Ananda and who is the Manushya Gandharva is to be understood. A Gandharva is a member of a class of celestial beings in the Dharmic religions. In Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, this have been mentioned. These males are divine performers of such as musicians, singers, and the females are divine dancers. In Hinduism, they are recorded to be celestial demigods who serve as the musicians of the Devatas. It's also a term for skilled singers in Indian classical music. Gandharvas had to be associated with historical Gandhara region. You can come here if you want. Historical Gandharva region. In Buddhism, this term also refers to a being in the intermediate stage between death and rebirth. So, Gandharvas. As such, the function of the Gandharva is to escort things from outside into this world, thereby divesting them of their potential dangerous nature. So from the human spectrum, they are taken towards the higher levels of consciousness. So the miseries and the pains and agonies of the human life can be reduced and they can go to the higher things with greater happiness. Because they 100 times more than the Manushananda by the people who are in these things. So later, the figure also came to be associated with fertility and virility. Atharva Veda mentions that there are 6,333 Gandharvas. Some of the most prominent Gandharvas include Tumburu, operates as Tumburu Narada, etc. Vishwavasu, who was the father of Pramadvara. Chitrangada. Chitrangada was the son of Shantanu and Satyavrati. Chitrasena, with whom the Kauravas and the Pandavas fought in the Ghoshayatra. Drumida, the biological father of Kamsa in Soma text. Chandavega, king of Gandharvas, who invaded the city of Puranjana. So like that, 6,333 Gandharvas have been mentioned in the Atharva Veda. What are their powers? Now, essentially, they are in the Pranamaya Kosha. So, they overcome the power, the bondage of gravity. Gandharvas can fly through the air. And the second dimension of Gandharvas are that excellent musician. They say the music of Gandharvas. So you go into the wonderful ecstatic dimension using the music. And they're always connected with trees and flowers, and described as dwelling in the scents of bark, sap, blossoms. They are among the beings of the wilderness that might disturb a monk meditating alone. So, essentially, it is the Pranamaya Kosha in which the Gandharvas, they live there. Similarly, there are Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and others. What is the difference between Gandharva and Yaksha? They are all in the Pranamaya Kosha. Just like we have the electromagnetic field, we have the bioplasmic field. And in the bioplasmic field, you have the Yakshas, Gandharvas, and Kinnaras. Just like we have here the human beings, the animals, and others. So, often they are equated. So, Yaksha in these cases is the more general term, including a variety of lower deities. Seeing. Then, here, two levels of Gandharvas have been mentioned. Te yeshatam manushyanam anandaha sayeko manushya gandharvanam anandaha shrotriyasya chakamahatasya te yeshatam manushya gandharvanam anandaha sayeko deva gandharvanam anandaha shrotriyasya chakamahatasya. It's met 100 times that of the manushya gandharvananda is equal to deva gandharvananda. Then, what is the difference between Manushya Gandharva and the Deva Gandharva? Is the question that comes up. So, Manushya Gandharva refers to a human being who has arisen to the level of a Gandharva through his practices continuously, even in this body. You can go to deeper and deeper levels, more with the Pranamaya Kosha. There are great Siddhas in Tamil Nadu who were able to just expand themselves into the Pranamaya Kosha and live in those dimensions. And they have a nervous system and can enjoy heightened sensory enjoyment. Normally, what all we can do with the physical enjoyment, these people can do that with higher and heightened sensory enjoyment. A Tantra text on Kinnaras supports this idea of increased sensual joy. However, Deva Gandharva represents an aspect of collective consciousness. Just like human beings are born out of the human beings, the Deva Gandharvas are born out of the Deva Gandharvas. So, the human beings cannot expand themselves to the level of the Deva Gandharva. They can go to the Manushya Gandharva in this thing. That is the difference between Manushya Gandharva and Deva Gandharva. What is the difference? 100 times that of the Manushya Gandharva Sananda is equivalent to 1 unit of Deva Gandharva Sananda. At each level, the Upanishads emphasis again is Shrotriyasya Akamahatasya. So, you can get that Ananda of the Manushya Gandharva and Deva Gandharva right here. By doing what? By becoming Shrotriya and Akamahata. What is the meaning? Shrotriya refers to the monks expert in Vedic studies. That is understanding, the knowledge, the theory is very important. So a person should be very knowledgeable, I mentioned. That means he knows all knowledge. Just like we have in the physical world, there are physicists who know about classical mechanics, quantum mechanics, and knowledge about the whole physical world. Similarly, he is a professor, and he is a professor is a Shrotriya. Similarly, in the Shastric world, in the world of yoga, in the world of Vedas, a Shrotriya person who is very well versed with all the dimensions of Vedas. And just like a professor spends, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, or a super specialist medical expert spends 20 years to get at the super specialty. Similarly, these people spend almost 15 years, 20 years, 30 years to understand the whole of the Vedas. So understanding and the theoretical knowledge is the Shrotriyatva. That is, they become experts in Vedic studies. They are not only very well versed in the science and also the technology of the Vedas. I've been telling that Uttar Mimamsa or the Upanishads give us the science of the Vedas. And Pura Mimamsa, having the Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda, they give us the technology of the Vedas. And these persons are very well versed in both the dimensions. They are called the Shrotriyas. So, theoretical knowledge, understanding of the whole of this entire creation, whether the Panchakoshas, and what is Annamaya Kosha made, Puranamaya Kosha, Manomaya, Vijnananandamaya Koshas, and in these Koshas, what are the specialities? Everything he knows, the knowledge. But knowing knowledge alone will not do. A person may know everything, but if he doesn't practice, it is no use. Therefore, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam is said in another Upanishad. Here, Shrotriyam Akamahataha. That means the person or the teacher or the expert must be devoid of selfish desires. Kama is desire. There are a lot of desires. Every one of us have desires. I want money, I want name, fame, I want power. All these things are common to everybody. These are all the rajasic action. That kamepsuna karma, sahankarena vapanaha. That is there with the ego and others. So this is common to everybody. And it's the selfish desires for these things. But there can be even selfless desires that may start coming up. You become sattvic, so you want to make money so that you can share more and more money to others. And you can help the family, you help your village, help your whole city, your entire country, entire world. You may be doing that. That is selfless desires. So a person who is having all these desires slowly should reduce his desires. First, you start reducing the selfish desires. The tamasic desire, the rajasic desires, we should go on reducing, and then come to the sattvic desire. That also you should be able to reduce. So, akamahata means the kama, the desire, has to be reduced. So, this is the process of growth. So, when we start doing the practice, our desire should come down, and all the Arishadar gods should come down. Sri Rama once asked Vasishtha, "Sir, what is the sure way by which I can understand that I am improving? What are the symptoms of growth?" And Vasishtha in Yoga Vasishtha says, "Anudinam tanutvam nyati arishadvargani." Day by day, your 6 enemies of man should go on reducing. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Kama is the basic desire. The kama should go on reducing. And out of that, all other things come. The whole process of growth is from kama comes Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, everything will come up. So, kama must go on reducing. This is assured growth, he says. The desire should go on reducing. Therefore, higher and higher knowledge on one front, and its realization by deeper and deeper practice to go to the deeper and deeper levels of silence, samadhi, and desirelessness. Ultimately, desires show up as thoughts. So, when the desires are reduced, the thoughts also will reduce. That's why in Sita Prajna Lakshana, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamano said that the kamanas in the mind, what are they? They are thoughts. Even the emergence of thoughts is the manifestation of the desire. Even that should go on reducing. Number of thought minutes should go on reducing. And this is the dimension that should happen. Therefore, there are 2 aspects. One is the theory, another is the practice. So what is said here is that when you do this, you can get that happiness of the Manushya Gandharva or Deva Gandharva right here. As human beings, we can get that Ananda right here, and that is the thing that can happen, as mentioned. This unit of bliss of man, multiplied 100-fold, is the bliss of human Gandharvas. And this is also the bliss of one who works in the Vedas and who is free from desire. Kshatriyasya akamahatasya. Having said that, from Manushananda, come to the Manushya Gandharva. That's how we measure. From there, you go to the next, Deva Gandharva. Human Gandharvas is the unit of measure of the bliss of the celestial Gandharvas. This is the same as the bliss of one who is well versed. So, from 100 folds of that, celestial Gandharvas is the unit of measure of joy of the means. From there, Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, then come to the Pitranam Chiraloka Lokanam Anandaha. That is Pitrus, Pitruloka. There are different levels of the entire thing, 12-layered dimension which has been put forth here. So you move from the physical world, the electromagnetic field, and you have the bioplasmic field, the pranic world. In that you have 3 levels that have been mentioned. That is the Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, and Pitruloka. And when we all die, we go into the Pitruloka normally. You cross over the Pranamaya Kosha and get into the Pitruloka and stay there for a long time. And from there, you are transported either to the heaven or the hell for some time and then come back in the Pitruloka, you all stay there. That is Pitranam Chiraloka Lokanam Anandaha. That's it. Shotriyasya cha akamahatasya Eye shatam ajana janan devanam anandaha sayeko karma devanam anandaha na karmana devana piyanti shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya eye shatam karma devanam anandaha sayeko devanam anandaha shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya Eye shatam devanam anandaha sayeka indrasyanandaha. So like that, one by one, you move. From the Pranamaya Kosha, from Pitranam Chiraloka Lokanam Ananda, Pitraloka, from there you go to the next step. They are called as the Ajana Jana Deva Loka. From there you go to Karma Deva Deva Ananda. And from there you go to the Devatana Ananda. And the Guru of Deva Indra is the Indrasyananda. So this is how we come to the Manomaya Kosha dimension. So from Pitruloka, you go to the Devaloka now. In the Devaloka, they have got the different levels again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And each time you rise from one level to the next level. There is a quantum jump from one bliss to the next step. What is that quantum jump? 100 times more, 100 times more, 100 times more, 100 times more. It has been put forth. And this is how it has been mentioned. You can measure. And Teye shatam indrasyanandaha sayeko bruhaspateranandaha. You come to the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Bruhaspati is the teacher of Indra. So he got this. Shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya eshatam bruhaspateranandaha sayeko prajapateranandaha sayekah prajapateranandaha shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya. From Prajapati Ananda, you go to the Brahmana. Eshatam prajapateranandaha sayeko brahmana anandaha Shrotriyasya chaka mahatasya. Each time you can see that ananda that these people get at the highest line, higher and higher level. Yakshas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, then Pitros, then the dimensions of Karmadeva, Devatas, Indras, and Bruhaspati. What all happiness he can get, what all the quantum of ananda they can get. We can all get this thing right here by doing what? Less and less desire. Less and less selfishness, and more silence, deeper and deeper silence, and deeper samadhi. All these things have been mentioned. So, this is the summary. First is the Manushaloka. So, 1 unit of Manushaloka. That is 1 unit, I put it as 1 unit of Ananda. Then from there, we expand ourselves to the Pranamaya Kosha. Then you get the Manushya Gandharvananda. That is 100 times more, 10 square. From there, 100 times more is 10 to the power of 4. From there, you go to the Pitruloka. Ajanadana Devaloka, 10 to the power of 6. From there you go to Karma Devaloka, Karma Deva Devaloka, that is 10 to the power of 10. Then from there you go to the Devaloka, 10 to the power of 12. Then Indraloka, 14. Then you come to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, Bruhaspati Loka, Prajapati Loka, 10 to the power of 16, 10 to the power of 18. Anandamaya Kosha is Brahma Loka, 10 to the power of 20. Therefore, the Brahma, who is the creator of the whole universe, what is his Ananda? 10 to the power of 20 times. Whatever we have here, Manusha Ananda, it is 1 followed by 20 zeros. This is the entire 11-layered creation that has been talked about. And as you move from Annamaya to Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Koshas, our entire thing starts increasing. Ananda increases. So in Anandamaya Kosha, there is one unit. From there you come to the Pranamaya Kosha, you have 3 levels. Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, and Pitruloka. From there you come to the Manomaya Kosha, you have got Karma Deva, Ajanajana, Devaloka, Karma Devaloka, Devaloka, Indraloka. The 4 in the Manomaya Kosha. And from there Vijnanamaya Kosha has 2 layers. That is Bruhaspati Loka and Prajapati Loka. Finally, Anandamaya Kosha has got 1 layer. That is the Brahma Loka. So these are the lokas that have been mentioned in these things. And this can be reduced into the 7 lokas or the 3 lokas and so on also by doing this thing. So everything can be related to this Panchakosha dimension and have this dimension. Then is it the end? 10 to the power of 20 is the end. Still it is finite. So you have to go beyond the Panchakoshas, beyond the creation. That is infinite. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya vanasa saha anandam brahmano vidvan na vibheti kutaschaneti etagum havavana tapati kimahagum sadhuna karavam kimaham papamakaravamiti sa evam vidvanete atmanuguspranate Ubehe vaishayete atmanaguspranate ya evam veda ityupanishata said. So this state is beyond the creation, beyond the Panchakoshas. So beyond the Brahma. Brahma is also the first offshoot of the ultimate reality. So that is considered Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. That is a state of existence, consciousness and bliss. And that is the only thing that exists. What is the definition of existence? Existence is that which does not change. It's space, time, causation. It's mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That which does not change is defined as existence. That's considered as reality. So that's the only thing that is real. Because everything in the Panchakosha, even the Brahma and human beings as we are in the down thing, everything goes on changing. And therefore change is the feature of this Jagat. Jagatyan Jagat. Therefore, it doesn't exist. So what exists or what is real is only the pure consciousness. And that is featured by existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is our original state of all of us. So that is the ultimate realization. So you go on increasing your Ananda as you go deeper and deeper, go into the deeper and deeper levels of Samadhi. As Patanjali puts it, you move from the first level of Samadhi at the culmination of Antaranga Yoga. From there you go to the higher things. 8 types of Samadhi he talks about, in which Vichara, Vitarka, Ananda, Aspita, Anugamat, Sampragnataha, Tadanyaha, Sampragnataha. Go on going deeper and deeper silence, go to higher and higher levels. And ultimately, you reach Kaivalya, that is ultimate reality. And that's what he told. Yato vacho nivattante apraapya vanasa saha. And your mind cannot reach that. It is beyond the mind. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. As Patanjali says, Chitta, Pramana, Vipare, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smritaha, you transcend all these things and go to the highest level. That is the state of infinite ananda and existence. Nabhibheti kataschaneti. So you are absolutely fearless. You are in the state of highest fearlessness, infinite fearlessness. There is no fear at all. Therefore, advising Sri Rama, Vasita once says, the sure thing is you become more and more fearless, more and more fearless. And that fearlessness is the character. Therefore, when he says, Janaka, you have reached the highest thing, Yagnavalka, he says, Abhayavam vai Janaka praptosi. O Janaka, you have reached the state of Abhayatva. You don't care for any of these things. You are absolutely fearless. Nabhibheti, kutaschaneti, wherever. Edakung havavana tapati. Kimahagum sadhana karavam. Kimaham vad papam akaramamiti. That you transcend the papa and the punya. The papa and the punya are all enshrined in all our kosha, in the form of the prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and everything. And all these things are completely cleansed. So since they are all cleansed, you become completely pure in this thing. Everything is cleansed. And there is no question of the papa, or the punya, and the dimension related. Ya evam vidwan ete atman smriti. The person who understands this, who realizes this thing, who lives this thing, is the person who has unraveled the mystery of this self, ultimate self. Uphehe vaishayete atmanaguspranate. So, therefore, he is the state of selflessness, state of fearlessness, state of infinite ananda, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite power and others. That is the ultimate reality. He who knows the bliss of Brahman from which all words return without reaching, all words return without reaching. That means the words cannot reach that. The mind cannot reach that. Mana buddhi chitta ahankara, it cannot reach that. It together with the mind is no more afraid of anything. Such thoughts. Why I have not done what is good? Why I have committed this sin? Do not certainly come to distress a man of experience of the truth. Such questions and such doubts will never come to him. He who knows thus regards both these as Atman, verily. Both these things are regarded by him who knows thus as only Atman. This is the Upanishad that has been put forth there. So the goal of human life is that perfection, or as moksha. In Vedantic terminology, in Patanjali's thing, it is called Kaivalya. It is a state of pure consciousness called Purusha Vahim. In modern times, you can say it's called reality. And it is the self of all of us. It's therefore called Parama Atman. We have the individual self, Jivatman, and that is the ultimate, that is the Paramatman. Therefore, the whole goal of yoga is the Jivatma to merge with the Paramatma. That's called Brahman. It is a state of infinite freedom, infinite happiness, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, and infinite power. So up to the entire Brahmaloka, everything is limited. Though it is very, very large, 10 to the power of 20, almost equivalent to infinity, but still it is not infinite. So, therefore, that is the ultimate reality. Purnavadaha, Purnavidam. This world, this Jagat is also Purna, because also 10 to the power of 20, almost equivalent to infinite. What is the relation? Purnat Purnam Budachyate. This Purna comes out of that Purna. And that is a beautiful thing that has been brought forth. So as human beings, we normally move towards the progress. We move from man as an animal, animalistic instinct. We are only involved in ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. And we don't want. We see whether we have got enough food to eat, ahara, nidra, whether we can have good sleep. Bhaya, we are afraid of several things. And maithuna, we also procreate. These are the four features between human beings, animals. And this is where we start. Then you move towards a normal human being, featured by discrimination. We start recognizing what is right, what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong. Discrimination power comes. You start doing that. From there, you start going in the right direction. Then you start becoming great human beings. Great human beings is featured by the sattvic dimension of becoming less and less selfish, more and more for others, featured by dana, daya, dhamma. As Patanjali says, the yama, nema, ahimsa, satyaste, brahmacharya, parigraha, yamaha. Shaucha, Santosh, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhana, Niyama. These are the 10 commandments of Patanjali, 10 commandments of Christ, 10 commandments of Manu. But all religions take us to the level of greatness. Then you start becoming a self-actualized man. That means you start continuously growing and growing and growing consciously to reduce your selfishness and start purifying ourselves. All the samskaras, prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, you go on cleansing, cleansing, cleansing at various levels, and you start growing. Ultimately, you become a divine man in which the pure things, the tamas, rajas, sattva, which are inherited in all levels, start reducing almost to zero. When it becomes completely zero, you are in the state of pure consciousness. This is known as the moksha. This is the human progress we are seeing. So Vivekananda said that we have to bring forth this total knowledge base to the whole humanity. And therefore, let us not neglect what tremendous achievements have been done in the West. So let us take all the best of the West and combine with the Eastern wisdom base. He said, combine best of the East with the West, it is said. And that's what we have incorporated here. So these deeper dimensions of Eastern wisdom base, which goes beyond the physical, what modern science has developed, understood is only about the physical world, Annamaya Kosha. But the laws and the structure of Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Koshas have to be unraveled. They are all available. So these deeper dimensions have to be brought to meet the challenge of today's intellectual brilliance in our students and in science. So we have to bring the latest developments of science and technology research about the benefits yoga and its application to everybody. Because the challenges of non-communicable diseases have posed the biggest challenge. The challenge of stress has devastated us. All these things have to be dealt with. So therefore, research is at the base at S-VYASA. Therefore, our objective was to see whether we can measure all these dimensions. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya, when we measure. Therefore, we set up our Anveshna Research Lab, which is an advanced center of integrative yoga research, in which we have got the whole set of labs, Anveshna Research Labs. We have got the complete dimension which can measure everything about the physical body, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Kosha. And then we set up the university with these 5 divisions. Division of yoga spirituality, division of yoga life sciences, physical sciences, management studies, and humanity. What is the speciality of that? In division of yoga spirituality, we have to move from matter-based paradigm towards consciousness-based approach. For that, we understand the Prasthanatraya, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Sanskrit, and Shaddarshanas, and comparative religions. All these things have to be brought forth and get familiarized with the practices and essentially understanding the deeper dimensions of human existence, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Kosha, and how the chakras manifest in these things. This all has to be brought forth. This is our syllabus that we have in our divisions. So the division of yoga and life sciences. Here in life sciences, we all have these dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, spiritual dimension brought forth here. So it promotes prevention, promotion of positive health, rehabilitation, and more than 700, nearly 1,000 papers have been published so far to bring the dimensions. So to bring this into action to deal with these dimensions, we have the integrative healthcare delivery system. So no single system today can solve the challenges that we have. Therefore, we do not neglect modern medicine. We have that. Then yoga therapy, Ayurveda, naturopathy, acupuncture, physiotherapy, all under one roof, bringing the best of the system, each system through functional integration. And that we have called it as Vashi, Vasishtha School of Health Integration. Vashi is one of the Ashtasiddhis that measure. So, what is the objective? Prevention. Though we say prevention is better than cure, hardly we do that thing. So, we have to bring this preventive dimension. So, we the integrator of yoga therapy for prevention and promotion of positive health. Treatment. Once you get a ailment, you have to learn treatment and long-term rehabilitation. So, we use the IM, integrative medical system we brought. So, the Vasishtha School of Health Integration, called Vashi, deals with treatment essentially of non-communicable diseases. Modern medicine handles surgery at the muscular level, nervous level, and cellular level. Aids only in symptomatic relief. Therefore, there is no total cure. Therefore, to bring in the complete dimension. So, Arogyadama or the Vashi has integrative healthcare delivery system. So, we have got all these different departments, just like you have in a modern medical hospital, cardiology, pulmonology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, all these dimensions in which we bring. So, the people who come here have a complete day's engagement so that they will get the maximum benefit. When they go to a hospital, the doctors will come, give the consultation, maybe give some medicine or something like that, and the whole day they're left to themselves. But here, from morning 5 o'clock up to night 10 o'clock, they've got devotional sessions, educative yoga entertainment, medicines, yoga equipment, books, DVDs, publications, yogic counseling, yoga-based vegetarian diet, everything is handled in this dimension. Then in the division of yoga and management, we had to move from management by objective, which has been in vogue for several decades until the Japanese took over as the total quality management. And the Indian system of adding dimensions of quality of output and quality of life has been brought forth, and the great management experts, and we all work together to develop a new system called HOLSIM. That is holistic systems management. What is the specialty? Not only we want quality of the product, but we want quality of life of the people who are there. Today, in spite of the tremendous quality achievement that they have been able to do, the Japanese people, what has happened to their life? Full of non-communicable diseases and challenges. For that, we had to move from money-based approach to human relation-based, value-based approach. The basis is that the artha is needed. You have to develop the artha, but it has to be based on dharma. That is the dimension that integrity, honesty, and selflessness is come up. That's what has been put. Then, in the division of yoga and physical sciences, we had to move from Annamaya Kosha understanding towards the Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya, Vijnananandamaya Kosha dimension. So, we know that science is a turning point to go beyond from physical to understand what is prana, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, and everything. So we have to move from Annamaya to Pranamaya Kosha. That's where we stand today. So to explore the low energy nuclear reactions and the biological transportation and building models of things, mathematical modeling, can we do that for the biological systems? Can we find out the laws that govern the entire biological system? All these things are being attempted in our division of yoga and physical sciences. Then, division of yoga and humanities. We have got a school of performing arts in which we have all these dimensions related to music, dance, fine art, drama, and the sports dimension. All these things have been brought forth and it's coming up. And these need the dimensions. How we are going to bring yoga into this thing? They all need the dimension of voice culture, physical flexibility and strength, dexterity, creativity development, emotion culture, the memory. All these things are developed, and therefore we are adding this dimension to the teachings of music, dance, drama, fine arts, and sports. Creativity is the essential feature. And silence is the abode of all creativity we have seen. As you go deeper and deeper silence, your power is going to increase, creativity will increase, and creative powers of creation are going to come. Therefore, by relaxation, by calming down of the mind, slowing down of the breath, go deeper and deeper to manifest that divinity is the way that we have to develop these dimensions. Then, S-VYASA University has its mother organization in Vyasa, Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhana Samsthan, which was the registered society in 1986. So, Vyasa has spread its wings all over the world. We have centers at both national and international levels. Vyasa at the national level, this center is based in Prashanti Kuteram, started coordinating the activities all over the country, and we have spread in 300 affiliate centers throughout the country. And international, this center based in Prashanti Kuteram started coordinating activity over the globe and has now spread into 120 countries of the world. What do we have here? Well-trained yoga therapist and consultant, serene, tranquil, and homely atmosphere, good library, heavy presentation, regular lectures of yoga, yoga therapy, and others. So people who get trained here as alumni, when they go out the country. What they do, they teach yoga for general public, and they train yoga instructors in all our affiliate centers. This is what they do, alumni. They train the yoga instructors. Then, if they are trained as yoga therapists, for example, they have done BSc in yoga therapy, MSc in yoga therapy, and so on, then they start teaching and training the patient, dealing with the patients also. So, normally, when they go there, they start sending patients to our Vashi and open up associate centers of Vyasa at this thing. So that is how the Vyasa has expanded. So this is the broad spectrum as to how we have to continuously grow to get greater and greater bliss, greater and greater ananda, greater and greater happiness throughout, and then spread that message of happiness, bliss to everyone in the whole world. We want that people should not only be healthy, but they should increase their bliss level. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Niramayaha is without diseases. You should prevent disease, promote positive health. Health is one dimension. Then you have to develop the bliss, more and more happiness, more and more happiness by expanding ourselves from pranamaya to manomaya, vijnana, anandamaya, kosha. That is the objective of S-VYASA and the Vyasa that we have. With that, we come to the close of today's presentation, and we'll close with our Shanti Mantra as usual. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. So we open now to questions. You can put it in the chat box. I'm sure already some things have come up now. We start taking up. One minute. I have two questions. One is, first, on slide 21 about Panchakosha, Adi is mentioned together with Manomaya Kosha. What is this Adi? Is it related to Vyadhi? If yes, how is it related to Vyadhi? Second question is it due to manifestation of karma phala? Is it infested by self Atman on itself? No? Yeah. Good question. Most people who have been attending my talks, they know about the concept of Adi and Vyadhi. Adi starts in the Manomaya Kosha and comes down to the physical body and becomes the Vyadhi. Adi occurs because of the dominance of the emotions over the right dimension. We all know what is right, what is wrong. But when the emotions take over, then we do the wrong things. This is called as the Duryodhana character. Duryodhana says, I know what is right, but I don't do right things. I know what is wrong. I'm drawn to do wrong things because of our anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation, and others. Therefore, Adi starts in the Manomaya Kosha. When the right knowledge do not dominate the scene, emotions take over. And that brings the imbalance in the Pranamaya Kosha and brings imbalance in the left and the right lobes of the brain. Autonomic imbalance, endocrine imbalance comes down throughout the body and becomes the Vyadhi, symptoms of this. Therefore, they are called Adhija Vyadhi. All these modern NCDs belong to this category. Then the second question is it due to manifestation of the karma phala? Yes, that emotional dimensions which come up and become more powerful, the Duryodhana character, is our own phala. So what all we have done in the previous life, show the prarabdha karma and sanchita karma. And when you are born, the prarabdha karma comes up in the form of tamas, rajas, and sattva. And the rajas become predominant. You have these problems and challenges that come. Good question. Dr. Narayanji has a question.
I have two questions. One question is Gandhara.
Gandharva.
Those Gandharva Loka Hojjati. So, how many elements are there? Are there 5 elements or less elements? Do you have a earth and water elements there?
Yes.
They have?
So, in
Do
the
they have
Sukshma
five
Sharira
elements or
also,
less?
in the Sukshma Sharira, in the all the koshas also, the 5 elements are there. They're in subtle form. So, in the physical form, you got the gross form. We saw it that Mandukya Upanishad, that what it does in the Sukshma Sharira, which is Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya, Vijnanandamaya Kosha, 3 layers are considered the Sukshma Sharira. In that, the 5 elements are in the subtle form. Whereas in the physical body, it shows up as the gross form. You got the gross as
subtle vibration.
Huh?
No, but the proportion is same. Suppose 5 elements we are in a particular proportion
Correct, yeah.
here. If you go down, inward, they are still in the same proportion. All of them are the equal constituents of this.
No, it is not in the same proportion. It depends on every person. Person to person, the composition of these 5 elements go on changing and changing. And they are featured by tamas, rajas, and sattva at the subtle level. And similarly, in the yakshas, kinnas, gandharvas, devatas, everywhere also, these 5 elements are in different proportions, but they are in the subtle form. In the Anandamaya Kosha, in the causal form, in the frozen form.
So the highest bliss in the Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka, yes.
But it is 10 to
10 to the power of 20.
20 times this is inconceivable.
10 to the power of 20.
It's inconceivable.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is
That's
not
why it's
that.
almost like infinity, but still it is finite
But what
according
the,
to theoretical.
and what the statement says, person who knows Veda and free of desire, he experiences same kinds of bliss.
Yes, he'll be able to get to that. That is the speciality.
But that is
So what you have to do is you have to go to
something
deeper.
very strange. That is something mind-boggling.
Yes, certainly. That is the beauty of this Bhakti Yoga Sutra.
So that means if you
Patanjali gives, you have to go from this one samadhi to the next samadhi, into the higher samadhi. Go on going deeper and deeper. Then your bliss increases. And whatever Brahmalokalu, that's why great personalities like Vasishtha and others, they had all the happiness or the bliss of the Brahmaloka almost. So Vishwamitra also went on doing that. He started getting more and more. He got all the powers and these things.
like our Mahavatar Babaji or Lahiri
Correct,
Mahasaya, they are
like,
in the same plane.
Correct, exactly. Teshwargiri, all this belongs to such great
So
heights.
they extend that bliss equivalent to Brahmaloka. So they
But near to that, somewhere here and there,
so though
depending.
their body in the earth, but their awareness in Brahmaloka.
Correct, correct.
And one more thing, how do we measure the level of Ananda in a person in experiment? Level of Ananda in a person, how do we measure, how do you quantify it in scientific experiments?
Through the scientific things, what we have to do is the physical level. How do we normally measure our happiness normally? We have got psychological questionnaires. Psychological questionnaires are used to measure the happiness, the quantum of that thing. But according to these things, when the bliss increases more and more, certain powers and other things start coming up. Things which you do not see, how do we measure? For example, electricity is there. How do we measure electricity? You've got an ammeter, you've got a voltmeter, you've got a power meter. So what is the effect of that electricity? You measure how the ammeter moves like this. This thing moves. So it's a magnetic effect, this thing comes. Similarly, the effect of that bliss shows up in the physical body as in the EEG signals, they become as the alpha waves. That is the meditating one level. Then you still go deeper, then you got the epsilon waves, that is in the highest samadhi. So this is what they can measure in the dimensions.
So this easy data can give you information about the level of Ananda that
Ananda
person
also.
is experiencing.
Correct.
And what happens, the higher the Ananda, the frequency will be?
Reduces one side. Another side is the higher samadhi which is there, sampragnata. There it increases higher and higher. That the higher super gamma dimensions. There is 100, 200, this thing.
No, the more the bliss, the less is the frequency of EEG.
Greater the ananda, lesser is the frequency. And also the high frequency also can relate to the bliss. Because in samadhi, you can have two types of samadhi. One is the sampragnata and the asampragnata.
Like as you said that Hanuman.
Correct.
Hanuman can do very super human work.
Correct.
Sometimes it is high vibrations.
Exactly. Correct.
And that is awesome.
Yeah.
So it is different from Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa Samadhi, right?
Savikalpa and Sampragnata are more or less same. Nirvikalpa and then Sampragnata are similar. But generally we talk like this thing, no? There is the Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa. But Patanjali makes 8 different things. Vichara, Vitarka, Ananda, Asmita. 4 levels he does. And each one of them there are two levels. So 8 samadhis he distinguishes. For example, in Vedanta we say Sthola Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. But in Taittiriya they made 3 more in the Sukshma Sharira. Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanaka.
And they call also that there is a supracausal plane.
Yes, correct.
There are subtle things. Even in Buddhist scriptures also there are 8 types of samadhi. Even in Buddhist scriptures also.
Correct.
So there are different kinds of aspects and in the different systems. But basically they talk about transcending the mind, experiencing that bliss.
Correct.
Nice guy. Can I have a?
Yes, you can take
I can take that.
Recorded thing also is there. PPT also is there. Gauri can give you. Can send you.
I want this PPT. That is very interesting.
Thank you. So, how are you all? Maraji, nice to see you. Anybody had any question? He is asking, please explain Sampragnata and Asampragnata Samadhi. So, in the Sampragnata Samadhi, you have got a particular object, a particular God, or particular dimension in which you merge with that thing. For example, you can have Sampragnata Samadhi and Ganapati, or Lakshmi, or Saraswati. It is a positive thing, an object. In the Asampragnata Samadhi, you don't have an object. Mind is calm, silent, and you become with that calmness. So Asampragnata, there is no object in this thing. And you become one with that. It is Samadhi. Samadhi is the process of becoming one with that. Tripati will merge together at the dimension that comes. For beginner, practicing yoga is first step. Also, how to maintain the consistency. So once you start doing the practice, then you must get more and more happiness, more and more bliss. The mind should become calmer and calmer. Therefore, what you have to do at the body level, relaxation at the body level, slowing down of the breath at the breath level, calming down of the mind at the mind level. These are the 3 cardinal principles that we have to do. And correspondingly, our desires, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, matsarya goes on reducing. Emotional stability will come. Equanimity will start coming up. And this is how we start growing in the beginning. Therefore, once you start getting happiness, then you will be able to have very consistent way you will be able to develop. And that's how we have to practice. For that, what is the best way of doing it? Best way is slow down the breath. Measure how much is your breathing rate. Breath holding time or the Brahmari time is the one that you have to measure. Day by day, if you go on reducing the Brahmari time, breathing rate, and then increase the Brahmari time, then automatically your happiness will increase, your bliss will increase, consistency will come up. And therefore, you have to work on this thing. Give a target to yourself. Okay, now my breath Brahmari time is 15. In 1 week, I will achieve 20. In the next week, I will achieve 25. Every week, 5 on increasing. But we have many people who have been able to achieve even 30, 40, 50. And we have one of the person here, and his Gurupreet, he has been able to achieve 60. And this is how you go on increasing this thing. Corresponding your happiness also will start increasing. And at the same time, mind also will calming down. and you'll be able to sit quietly, nicely in the state and then go to deeper and deeper levels. So for half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, go on doing this thing. This is how we grow in the whole encounter. Good question. Thank you. You had any question?
I'd like to see you when you have time. We have a couple of more days left. If you go away in a second.
I'll ask anybody. Anybody else have any other questions? All of you are here. Thank you very much for your thing. Shyamji, Amit.
There's somebody on
Anybody else have any questions? Please put it on the chat box. Otherwise, we'll close today's session, and next Saturday, our Gauri will indicate what is my next topic. We'll continue this journey.
प्रणाम गुरुजी,
Thank you
धन्यवाद।
all. Wish you all the best. And we'll close. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah, all the people who have joined us in the conference have joined us.
They have joined, no? Online. The people have joined.